Hello, and welcome to the final episode of ManyQuest. I am OmnusI, your host. For the finale, we are doing things slightly differently. Whereas normally we would have a lottery for whose comment was selected for the direction forward, we're going to use a composite of the 3 comments that were submitted at the end of the last episode. So, this will not be hard, as you shall see. From contributor Neil Kammer, the Gobmite is possibly now his comrade-at-arms. Dirk tries to communicate to the Gobmite that the 2 of them must leave the room and move on. Perhaps there are traps or levers to pull to reveal a new exit. Alright, communicate with the Gobmite to leave. From the Escapist Club, Dirk is tempted to examine the throne, but then he thinks, no, every poor soul condemned for the amusement of the elite audience has come through here. If there's anything to be found, it has been found a long time ago. Instead, he tends his wound as best he can, and while saying to the Gobmite, which way is out? We need to leave fast. And finally, from Matthew Groyle, Dirk should treat his wound as best he can. He also needs to be aware of the venom and what it is doing to him. Then, go and search the throne and the rest of the room. He should convince the Gobmite to keep an eye on the spider as he searches. Alright, so, generally, the idea is treat the wound, do what you can about the venom, communicate with the Gobmite for a way out, and search the room. So, first of all, Dirk feels another wave of pain as that poison is still coursing through him. How does he deal with it? Dirk has no skill in medicines on how he could extract the venom, so he'll do the best he can. Dirk has no skill in medicine, and therefore he will have to rely on his 4-sided die to try to stop the flow of the poison through his body. Dirk has once more rolled a 1. The poison has its effect. Dirk can use his overall health and constitution to try to avoid the effects of the poison. Again, he rolls a 4-sided die to do so. Dirk rolls a 2. A little better than a 1, but not what he needed. The pain in Dirk's arm intensifies. He can feel the tendrils of the venom crawling through his body, though he tries to wrap up his arm as best as he can. He cannot stop the venom. Dirk begins to lose consciousness, the Gobmite looking on in panic. It seems unsure of itself, and then it dashes off. The torchlight, the only light in the room to meet Dirk's gaze, flickers, dims, grows distant and faint as Dirk slumps to the floor, overcome by the venom. However, this is not truly the end. Dirk awakens, sore, every fiber of his body in agony from all of his muscles clenching up from the venom. He hears a voice before he can see much of anything. "Oh, Dirk, you were not cut out to be a warrior. I am sorry that by talking to me you entered into this plight. The door behind me will lead you out of the dungeon and near to the city wall. You should leave as soon as possible. If my father finds out that you have escaped the dungeon, when he finds out, your life will be worth very little. Unfortunately, you and I have no future together. I cannot tolerate such weakness, and you may have your skills, but you cannot live in my world. You must leave if you wish to live. Consider all of this a lesson learned. Your gear is at the foot of the bed, and you will not see me again. Farewell." As Dirk feels his strength begin to come back, the creeping paralysis around his limbs begin to slack, he sees the figure walk through a secret door in the wall. The door closes with an audible click. Dirk can gather up his possessions, and the door out of the room is unbarred. Nothing he can try will open the secret door that the mysterious woman walked through. He was pleased to see that where she walked through, he could see the gobmite waiting for her. The gobmite must have pulled him to safety after he passed out from the toxin. Dirk walks out through the door and finds himself coming out of the cellar door of a small, disreputable tavern on the outskirts of town. True to her word, it is an easy thing for a bard of his talents to slip through the gate and out of the city of Van Hasley. This ends this episode of ManyQuest. It will be some time at least before another comes. I would like to thank those who participated in ManyQuest by commenting. Thanks especially go out to Lee of the Escapist Club, Matthew Groyle, and Neil Kammer. Your ongoing contributions helped to sustain ManyQuest for as long as it did. This is not the end for Dirk, but it is an ending. And with that I say, thank you for anything that you did for ManyQuest, at the very least by watching this, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Any comments that you have, with advice, well wishes, thoughts, would be appreciated. But as of right now, the adventure is over and ManyQuest has come to an end. Thank you, and farewell.